going to try something a little different tonight. I had the radio on the test bench, fixed a couple broken soldering joints, and put it on the nightstand next to the bed. That's the plasticky ear. Keep that plastic on the mattress, it lasts a lot longer. So I'm going to recline and participate in this net a little bit this way tonight here on America Radio X-Ray. Well, American Radio X-Ray. It's going to be the Metro Richmond ARES net on the MRA, obviously 145.430.
Good evening. This is Kilo Oscar for Kilo Alpha Delta with the Metro Richmond ARES net for Thursday, 7/18/2024. Your net control station this evening is Kilo Oscar for Kilo Alpha Delta. My name is Randy, and I am the net manager for the Richmond Metro ARES net. If at any time during this net you should need to relay emergency traffic, please use the word break, and the net will yield for your traffic and assist in any way that we can. Metro Richmond ARES is part of the ARRL and the Virginia Section ARES program. This net meets weekly on Thursdays at 1900 on the 145.430 repeater.
Hopefully it won't fail during the net. That's why that Heathkit speaker's down below.
The purpose of this net is for training and announcements for the amateur radio community with an emphasis on emergency communication. We ask that all participating stations follow standard net procedures that would be used during an active emergency net. There is no requirement to be an ARES member. All amateurs who are within range of this repeater, regardless of location or affiliation, but with proper license class, are invited and encouraged to participate in this net.
Passive amplified speaker. It could be louder.
Again, this is Kilo Oscar for Kilo Alpha Delta with the Metro Richmond ARES net. Okay, some general housekeeping before we get started with check-ins. This is a directed net, which means stations must be acknowledged by net control before proceeding with comments or discussion. One feature of this net is the discussion of the day. The discussion of the day is intended to be a way to learn more about amateur radio, emergency preparedness, general safety, and so we hope everyone will participate. One other thing, I need only your call sign and your first name, and I need your call sign slowly and phonetically with the proper ITU alphabet. And the topic this week, trying to keep in line with ARES, I thought I might throw the POTA angle in there because I've become a big POTA hunter. I really enjoy it. And it's certainly relatable to ARES in the fact that it's portable operations. And you have to log and keep track of what's going on with a pileup of stations. So I just kind of wanted to see other people's feelings about POTA. I know a couple of guys have expressed interest, and I would like to try to put something together to get a group of operators out once we get past this hot part of the summer to do an activation, particularly for new guys, so that they could see what all it takes and hopefully enjoy it as much
Interesting. Poda, how many portable check-ins will we have tonight?
I found this interesting. I was listening to a couple of hams today on the King George repeater while I was stuck in traffic on 95 South trying to get back to Richmond from basically Fredericksburg. And they were talking about the military is getting ready to go back to teaching and using, teaching tropospheric conducting and atmospheric conditions, and relying more heavily on HF radio again, as opposed to satellite communications because of the potential for satellites to go down. Thought that was very interesting, and that's something that all of us should try to learn as much as we can about what bands you can get on and contact where at what times. Okay, let's get started with check-ins. I'm going to let it drop one more time.
Yeah, nobody asked you. Go ahead, Randy.
All right, I'll be taking check-ins in two separate groups: mobile and portable stations, and then all other stations. And anyone that happens to be an ARES, EC, or a MCOM official of any type, please identify yourself as that when you check in. Again, all I need is your call sign phonetically with proper ITU and your first name, and I'll give location and receive signal report when I call for comments. So let's get started. Are there any mobile or portable stations wishing to check in tonight to the Metro Richmond ARES net? If so, please call now.
All right, keep up. This is going to be a really long list.
Kilo Delta 6 Foxtrot Mike, Ron, Romeo Oscar November.
Poda? No?
This is November 8th, Echo Lima Sierra Nathan, and I am mobile, and I might be in and out, so please check.
Don must be on the wrong frequency again.
All right, net control copies. 86 Fox Mike and November 8 Echo Lima Sierra. Are there any other mobile or portable stations wishing to check in?
Wonder what the grandkids are doing right now. I wonder if there are any grandkids. I'll never know.
All right, with nothing heard, this is KO4KAD net control. November 8 Echo Lima Sierra. Would you like to go ahead and make some comments now, or do you just want me to mark you down as in and out? Over.
Yeah, thanks, Randy. I can go now real quick. I'm just getting ready to pull into where I'm headed to, but again, November 8 Echo Lima Sierra. I am currently mobile northbound on 295 and getting ready to get off on Coal Green. I've got you loud and clear, got you full quieting, basically no noise. In regards to PODA, that's a massive rabbit hole, and I could talk for quite a while about PODA, but PODA is single-handedly the reason why I jumped into the rabbit hole of HF. I think everybody who has any interest in HF should definitely look into it. I've been able to make contacts. I've almost got every state knocked out. I think I've got about 2/3 of the way there. I've even got several DX entities on PODA. In regards to doing an activation, I have not done an activation yet, just because I'm still getting used to working the pile-ups and listening to the pile-ups.
That's a narrow-banded Harris radio, so he sounds a little
November
funny.
8, Echo Lima Sierra, KO4KAD. Excellent comments. Thank you, Nathan. Yeah, I had put your name down as one that I would like to get out there when we decide to do this. I was lucky enough to be pulled into a group that activated Pocahontas State Park probably 2 years ago now, and that was my first one, and it was, operators that had done many.
Oh, no. What are you doing?
And it kind of got me, and then one other hand took me out one other time and helped me with my first one, and after that I took off running, and I love it. So thanks, those are great comments, and yeah, I've got your name jotted down. I'll be getting back with you. Thanks again for your comments. Let's go up to Kilo Delta 6 Foxtrot Mike. Ron, let me get your location or received signal report, and you have any experience with POTA and or any other portable type operations. Over to you.
That thing has sat there running for hours scanning, and the only thing
This
that...
is KD6FFM. I have your loud and clear. I am in Western Waco at the apartment complex picnic area at 90 degrees outside. No experience working in those operations. I do not have HF capabilities, so I'm very, very limited as far as being able to get around because I don't have a vehicle. So I have to get in some of these activities. So.
Until somebody runs their loud mouth, it doesn't shut down. It's not his fault.
KO4KAD. Thank you for your comments, Ron. You got a good signal coming in tonight, and my email is on QRZ. If you are interested in being, and this goes for anybody that's will check in and is listening. If you would like to be included in an email list to potentially do an activation, shoot me an email and I will collect all those names and we will see when we can get one scheduled. Thanks again, Ron, for checking in. All right, let's move down and go ahead and start taking general check-ins. Remember, I just need your first name and your call sign with the proper ITU alphabet. So, this is Scale 4 KAD with the Metro Richmond ARES net, taking general check-ins. Go.
Sounds like he's on the computer in the background. What are you doing, Randy?
Kilo Oscar 4 Uniform Oscar Romeo Scott.
This is Whiskey 4 Romeo Tango Hotel 5. This is
What was that?
Whiskey 4 Papa Kilo Romeo Jim.
Oh, it's Jim. Whoop. What the heck was that?
This is
Oh, finally on frequency
Kilo
there.
4 Echo X-ray X-ray Don in Chester.
That'll be an excuse later.
This is
Oh, double.
Kilo November 4 Victor Alpha Michael. This is Whiskey 4 Bravo Kilo Romeo Sean. This is Alpha Echo 4 Oscar Kilo Rich.
Uh-oh. Somebody forgot to pause the scan. Uh-oh. I should have.
Let me see if I've got the mic.
You didn't miss nothing.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is Scott, KO4UOR, in Western Henrico. Read you loud and clear, Randy. Good topic. Parks on the air. One thing that, parks on the air hunting is fun because you can do it without having to commit a lot of time because they're looking for quick exchanges. But it's no fun being in the pileup that's trying to get your call sign heard by the activator. So that's one of the things that got me interested in activating. I've activated about 15 times, I guess. And I feel like when you activate, you're a part of the solution to the
Oh, no. Not again. Oh, no.
activate. You can alleviate some of that pressure
I think that connector back there is probably oxidized.
activity. And it is fun to be on the other side of the pileup. So if you haven't hunted, I recommend you hunt. And if you haven't activated, I recommend you activate. And looking forward to that group event. Hopefully we can choose a park and activate it for a long period of time with one operator after another. Kilo Oscar for Uniform Oscar Romeo. One other thing. Good to hear Rich and Jim on here. I haven't heard either of you on the air lately. So looking forward to hear your comments. KO4UOR, back to net control.
Yeah, I think these old radios, they don't tolerate loud, long-winded voices. They just give up.
As soon as that came out of my mouth, I realized the mistake that I had made.
Yeah.
So, thank you for your comments. Really, really good comments. Yes, you're 100% accurate on everything that you said in regards to the pileups and hunting is fun. Activating to me is just a complete blast. Really, I probably hunt a couple stations, at least a couple parks a day. More on weekends if I have time. But activating for me is right now, anyways, is where it's at. I have a question for you before we move to the next station. Is the Simplex net this weekend or this Friday? And if so, would you please announce it over?
Well, yeah. That's part of the announcements.
Roger.
These guys are net controls.
And I forgot again.
Jeez.
Like I said, John would have taken care of it if I had not. But yes.
That was prearranged.
There is a notice in the Simplex hashtag of Slack. And if you're on the reminder email list, you would have gotten an email about the RVA Simplex net. Tomorrow is the late edition, 9 p.m. Friday night on 147.
everybody's a critic.
You listen for a second, then you get your call time. Uh, let's see, as far as POTA, I've only done one activation, which was on VHF. And I had a bunch of contacts. I don't think I had enough to make it official, and I was with Bill and let's see, who else was there? I can't remember anymore. But it was fun. But it's for me to get out of the house and do something like that. I need the motivation. I need other people kind of going or egging me on. I have the equipment, Randy, for a POTA activation on HF, and I just haven't done it. So at some point, I'd like to get together with someone and do an activation. But by my lonesome, I just always find other things to do. So with that, I'll send it back to our very able net control operator, KO4KAD. This is W4.
Jim walks dogs for a living. No, he's not motivated.
W4PKR, KO4KAD. Always good to hear you, Jim. Thank you in particular for the comment in regards to check-in. Yes, I meant to say that because I heard the heterodyne noise where somebody was on top of somebody else as well.
Keep it clean.
So I don't know if we missed somebody, but if so, hopefully they will try back. And yeah, now that you told me you got the gear, we will drag you out there, buddy. You can count on that.
Get him, Randy. Get him.
Anyways, good to hear from you, Jim. 73. Let's go on down to our next station, K4EXX. And he did not check in as a mobile or portable tonight. That's very interesting. Give me your name, your location, and receive signal report. Any comments, please?
KO4KAD. This is K4EXX in Chester, and I've got a great signal on you. And wanted to comment on the Simplex net tomorrow night on 146490 with my friend and yours, Scott, will be the net control operator on that Simplex net. Since I don't do POTA because I have enough trouble transmitting out of the house, much less out the woods. The Simplex net I find is a whole lot of fun because you don't have a repeater to help you. You have to make it on your own. And I really enjoy that, and I'm looking forward to it. So if anybody has a change around 9 o'clock Friday night, tune in and listen to Scott burn up the airwaves. Everybody have a good evening. 73s. This is your 50,000 watt station in Chester, Virginia, K4EXX.
I would like to say Don is reliable, but
Thank you for those comments, Don. I'm curious, you sound, your signal is stronger, you're louder. Are you on a new radio, by the way?
Yeah, roger that. It's the my TYT, my little TYT radio. It's not much bigger than a minute for a portable. On VHF, it has 4 settings. It has 5, 10, 20, and 50, or 50, 40. It's 50 on VHF, 40 on UHF. I don't have a watt meter or an SWR meter yet. I've got one ordered, so I don't really know what it's doing. But if you can hear me, then I'm happy. Back to net.
look at the display on the radio.
Yeah, okay, roger that. I do remember now that you had mentioned that you got a TYT 9800. Okay, well that explains it because you're getting in better, at least from my perspective. Thanks for checking in. 7-3. Let's move on down to
shorty 40 and the 17-foot whip, and I can bypass the coil, so I can do everything from 40 down. And it works well. And then my other favorite right now is my Chameleon Delta Loop. That thing is pretty cool too. So don't have to deal with a whole lot of wires. I have a lot of inset half blades and stuff like that, but it's so much easier just to set up the whips and all of that, and it does everything that I need to do. And I use a G90. I've got this FT710. I've got a 7300, and they all work fine. But I actually enjoy that G90 20 watts, and I do as well with that as I do with the FT710 most days. So with that being said, I am interested in maybe not doing the photos, but being there and listening to everybody, and I can bring stuff and show things, kind of show and tell. Here's some equipment I have if anybody's interested in seeing it before they buy it, kind of stuff. So, or even trying it before you decide to buy something. But anyway, with that being said, I'm certainly interested, and I'll pass it back over to you, Randy. This is KN4VA, back to net control.
Keep it simple, Sam.
KN4VA, great comments, Michael. Absolutely, I will make a note here on my list that you are definitely interested, and you certainly got the gear. That Wolf River coil, they have always interested me, and I'm kind of bouncing back and forth now on a new antenna myself, thinking about the ATOS, the Yaesu ATOS. But that Wolf River coil is a pretty cool antenna too. So, yeah, I'd love for you to, bring some of your gear out and let me and others, or test it and get some tutorials. So thanks for checking in, and let's see, we're at the bottom of the hour, so I'm going to pause and see if there are any other stations out there that would like to check into the Metro Richmond ARES net. If so, I need your first name and your call sign with the proper ITU phonetics only. I'll get your signal report and so forth when I call on you for comments. So with that said, if there's anybody else out there that would like to check into the net, please call now.
This is Q4 Zulu Alpha Kilo, John, in and out.
Net control, this is. Net control, this is. William, Kilo, Alpha, 4. Kilo 4, Alpha, Romeo, X-ray. So I messed up. Shut up.
All right, we picked up two more stations. W4ZAK, John was in and out. Thank you for checking in, John. And K4ARX. So let me go back up to my list.
we start swinging back into doing a little bit more emergency net stuff. I don't do a lot of photo because I'm kind of busy at work, and on the weekends I'm usually doing tasks around the house, fixing this or fixing the other thing. We used to go out to parks a little bit more frequently as a family, but the kids are grown and out of the house now, and most of the time here it's just chores and things and various other hobby things I've got going right in my ham shack right here. But I did buy a small rig to do that kind of portable operation. I do have an antenna that I set up. Periodically I do something out in Windy Hill with mixed results. And I have a bit more tuning and playing to do. So that's pretty much it on my end. So with that, I'll switch everybody to 73 and back to net control.
KG4OK, KO4KAD. Yeah, Rich, like I said, good to hear you on the air. I knew you were around out there somewhere still, and yeah, I miss the Windy Hill days. I really wish something would kick that back into gear. I miss the Powhatan training net being on Monday nights from Windy Hill and the gatherings out there. It was a lot of fun. Well, good to hear you. Thank you for your comments in 73. Let's move down to currently last but not least by any stretch of the imagination, K4 ARES. Location, received signal report, and any comments that you have.
Net control, KO4KAD, K4ARX, William, here in Chaco Valley, and either Chase or active input, K4ARX. That was the Motorola Astra Spectra. Sorry about that.
K4ARX, K4KAD. All right, William, thank you for checking in, and good to hear you. And I'm going to take one more call since it's still kind of early. Let's see, is there anyone else out there? This is Kilo Oscar 4, Kilo Alpha Delta with the Metro Richmond ARES Nets. I'm going to take one more call for general check-ins. Please call now.
That might be why it does that. I've just overdriven the receiver. 25 watts in the same room.
This is K4PRL, Kitty. This is Kilo Quebec 4, Sierra Lima Alpha, 64 FLA,
Y'all got to speak up like Randy.
All right. We picked up two more stations. The first one, I'm not sure I got your call right. Don't believe I've heard you before, so I'm glad to have you on the net. Correct me on your call if I didn't get it right. I've got Kilo 4 Papa Alpha Lima. moving on, also on Tuesday nights, Chesterfield ARES net meets at 2100 hours, and it's called by David, KN4LQN, on the 147360 repeater, with a positive offset and does not require any tone. Also, for WinLink operators, Tuesdays, please check into the Chesterfield County ARES WinLink net. More information for that is available at chesterfieldares.us website. And on Wednesdays, all day long, you can check into the WinLink Wednesday net by sending a WinLink message to David, KN4LQN at winlink.org. On Wednesday nights at 2000 hours, the Tri-Cities MCOM net meets on the 147390 repeater with a positive offset and PL of 74.4. And also, as mentioned earlier, this Friday night on 146.490, the Richmond area simplex net, that I believe is at 2100 hours. Scott, if you're still listening, you want to correct me if I'm wrong?
You're not wrong. I think that's 9 p.m. Let's just go with 9 p.m.
So now we're making stuff up.
Yep, okay, roger that. I couldn't remember if it was 7 or 9. But yes, sir, 9 p.m., 146490, Richmond Simplex Net. All right, well, we had 13 check-ins this week, which isn't bad for the summertime when everybody's out and about. So I will proceed to close the net, but before I do, I would like to thank all those stations who participated and the stations that stood by to give us the time for this net. I would also like to thank the MRA group for their use of their repeater. The Metro Richmond ARES net is now closed, and this repeater is returned to regular amateur radio use. 73, everyone. This is Kilo Oscar 4, Kilo Alpha Delta, clear.
I don't suppose that was a bad test. Congratulations first.
Kilo 4 PKR, Kilo 4 KAD.
Hey, Randy, I have the ATES 120A.
Oh,
And
straight to
I
business.
recently purchased the ground plane kit. So, whenever you have some time, give me a holler and you can try it. And I haven't had time to even try the antenna yet. Never mind the ground plane kit. So I just wanted to holler at you about that.
He's just not motivated, right?
Oh man, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I really think. What kind of? So you said you haven't used it yet, but what kind of rig were you planning on using it with? Over.
That would be the Yaesu FT891, which I also haven't used.
Why are you walking dogs?
Okay, yeah, I figured that was the radio, but just wanted to double check. Gosh, man. Yeah, we need to get you out there using that. Cause I'm getting ready to pull the trigger on the 891. And I figured after all my research, the ATOS was probably the way to go with it. I would like to keep it mounted on my truck. Or like to keep the mount
Is that it?
Northwest winds around 5 miles per hour in the evening, becoming light and variable. Chance of rain 70%. Sunday, mostly cloudy in the morning, then becoming partly sunny. A chance of thunderstorms. A chance of showers in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 80s. Chance of rain 50%. Sunday night, partly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Lows in the lower 70s. Chance of rain 50%. Monday, mostly cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms. A chance of showers in the morning, then showers likely in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 80s. Chance of rain 60%. Monday night, mostly cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms. Showers likely, mainly in the evening. Lows in the lower 70s. Chance of rain 60%. Tuesday, mostly cloudy in the morning, then partly sunny with a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 80s. Chance of rain 50%. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Lows in the lower 70s. Chance of rain 50%. Wednesday, mostly cloudy in the morning, then partly sunny with a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 80s. Chance of rain 50%. Wednesday night, partly cloudy in the evening, then becoming mostly cloudy. A chance of showers and thunderstorms. Lows in the lower 70s. Chance of rain 50%. Thursday, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers. A chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 80s. Chance of rain 50%. The Richmond, Virginia climate summary for this evening as of 5 p.m. July 18th, 2024. Today's high temperature was 84 degrees and the low 74 degrees. 0.11 inches of precipitation fell today, which brings the monthly total to 4.78 inches. The total precipitation for the year now stands at 31.17 inches. The record high for tomorrow is 101, which last occurred in 1942, and the record low is 58, which occurred in 1925. Sunset tonight is at 8:28 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow is at 6:04 a.m. Marine forecast. Chesapeake Bay from New Point Comfort to Little Creek, Virginia. Tonight, east winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming northwest late. Waves 1.
Yeah. It's not half bad. It might have a final transistor issue. I don't know if those are supposed to be specifically black in color, like on the case. This one's a little gray.
Hey, Bob. Hey, you want to switch over to 710?
Going to HF.
Give me 715. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Walker. 715.
Oh, Walkerton repeater.
Yeah, make sure that. 4H. Guess what? 146 715. KQ4 RM QSY.
Don't worry, we didn't miss anything listening to the weather service because the Motorola Astra Spectra is still on across the room. It's not a bad radio. It came in as is, probably untested, if I remember correctly. And it came in without an antenna. That's only backup set, not on top like a lot of these receivers have with the extendable antenna. And it came in with a replacement power supply or wall wart. And it was rated at 12 volts and 2000 milliamps, I think it was. And I borrowed one from a Pro-2052, and it was only rated for 500 milliamps, and that's what's running on it right now. So, not knowing that much about these things, I wasn't sure if one was stronger than the other as far as amperage. And I studied voltage drop yesterday and early this morning, and it kind of made some sense. I used to run it on a power strip, and I put it on an extension cord, actually two different power strips, and it acted funny. It would do as it did tonight a few times, and if you plug it directly into the wall, which is probably the best you should do with any appliance, it does fine, except for tonight. But I think since I have fixed the broken solder joints, either the barrel connector on this particular wall wart is a little different in size, or maybe the surfaces are oxidized. Maybe the surfaces inside the plug on the back of the radio are oxidized. So it probably could stand a little bit more cleaning as far as those go. But everything else on the inside was fairly clean, almost as if it's never been opened. But I know it's not true because on this side of the case, back here, is a RadioShack Service Center label. So it's probably been through or across several desks as it is. And it's been serviced probably more than once or twice. But from what I could tell, unless the final transistor is bad, I haven't tested it yet, it seems to be sensitive to the fact of either voltage drop or lack of power, bad connection back there on the back of the radio for the wall wart. It seems to be sensitive also to signal strength, as we saw, very close. Normally, the receivers I have, they don't blank out like that when you transmit close by. In fact, I get a nice feedback loop with a bunch of scanners if they're all on.
We're the two downwind runway 33 and the simulated power off 180.
But this one acts completely different. It might be something somewhere as it receives. For instance, when it received a loud voice, doesn't change the signal strength because the repeater doesn't move and this doesn't move. Excuse me. But loud audio, that seemed to kind of blank it out like it did. And that's why I put in the external speaker, hoping that the passive transformer in that speaker would amplify it and take some of the stress off of the receiver or the radio itself, and it wouldn't have to drive its own speaker to provide that kind of audio. So as you could tell, I turned it down earlier, and it seemed to help out okay. And it's run like this for hours since I've repaired it. I so-called repaired it, but I think at one point in time, this used to be a very sought-after radio, and for the condition that it was in when I got it, and when I offered to pay for it, it wasn't a bid or anything like that. I think I gave them what they wanted for it. Sometimes I get some discounts on things like this, but it was the only one with that RadioShack label, this model, that was on the eBay at the time. And I think fortunately a lot of these that I purchased, they kind of pop up and nobody notices them, and I just happen to be looking at them and there they are. And sometimes they'll sit there for a couple weeks, wait till payday, but it just depends. I can, make that purchase a couple days in advance of payday. They give you about 48 hours to pay for stuff like that, and the deal's already done. So quite fortunate to have this specific model. Uniden would be different, I guess. That would be the only more valued radios because the label changed. It's pretty much the same thing. And I don't care if there's a channel difference. I don't care if it's not a trunk tracker because it's just no longer important. You sit here and just scan the analog stuff, and that's just fine. This isn't the best place in the room for receiving. Being on the, it says video selector. I know better than that. I'm using it as an antenna selector right now, and it's got the big backup set CB antenna on it. And for what it's worth, it receives pretty good. I don't have any complaints. So you can tell even though with the aircraft frequencies, I can receive it, and that's basically what it's programmed for. It's also programmed for the FRS and GMRS, but it hasn't done a whole lot of that since I programmed it a day or so ago. So that's no big deal. It's a non-issue. I do all my scanners that way because I'm so close to the city and the interstate and some popular pedestrian type walkways here. So pick up that stuff occasionally during the day, or folks driving by, sometimes even late at night, and it's kind of helpful. So it's kind of a random receiver test, anyways. It doesn't matter what radio it is; they all pretty much have that. So, and this is the same. They've got local frequencies, some aircraft, and just whatever happens to be used. I've got some specifically that have only the business itinerants, and sometimes you hear that during the day, sometimes late at night. Sometimes it's either a business, city, county. Realistically, that's what it is. They're out there sweeping the interstate, and you'll hear the medical aircraft sometimes. 154, is it 154 810? I think it's closely to 154 8025. Really, what it is. It's 12 and a half kilohertz spacing. Some of the scanners didn't do it like that. This one will, and on the rare occasion they'll get off the UHF system in the aircraft and hop over to 154 8025 as they come into the hospital over here. So kind of an interesting catch, and it's neat to watch it. That's really all I'm doing, is just watching this stuff work. And again, it's not so much the conversations, it's just watching the old technology work as it does. There's a lot of people flying tonight. For crying out loud, it's after 8 o'clock. It must be all commercial aircraft. And I noticed that's DC that pops up in the air traffic control, or whatever I call them. And I'm not very versed on that either, but still, it's fun to scan the aircraft bands just to hear what you can hear. And get up there around 30,000 feet. I guess by air, we're more than an hour away from DC. And what is it? BWR? It's Baltimore, Washington Regional, I think it is. Or is it BWI? Baltimore, Washington International. I don't remember. It's one or the other. I used to see the signs on the interstate, and I used to sort of follow the aircraft on the radio. I thought, yep, I'm getting tired. Crossing the states overnight, on the job, over the road as a truck driver. That just made it fun. CV in the background, a little bit of aircraft, a little bit of fire and EMT and whatnot that was really available out in the Midwest. They use the conventional more often out west, and they use the trunking systems and the P-25 and all that over here on the East Coast. And it was just interesting, especially at night, in fall and winter. It just carried so well. Even the aircraft bands just carried so well. I knew I was an hour away from the major city because that's what I was hearing down the interstate. I was like, yep, there's that city. Looked at the watch. Yep, it's an hour away. And just about as soon as I'd hear them, they'd disappear. So that was fun. Lots of fun. I'm going to end it here. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. It's always fun to sit here and try something new and participate on the Metro Richmond ARES net on the Metropolitan Repeater Association repeater. It's just weird. Double negative. I'm not absolutely sure what that is. That might be a little off frequency. But anyways, it's all in fun and learning. And I am learning how to solder. I've got a couple of electronic kits to build. I've got an RC car to repair. Probably do a little more than that because it's more closely related to radio than it is just toys. I've got one particular model. I found one just like it, and it's the same band, 49 megahertz. There's another model I've seen that's 27 megahertz. That would be fun. I think it'd be fun to kind of go back and forth between those and make those work. It's a radio. It's a transmitter and a receiver, and they're very simple. The controllers seem to be very simple, and the cars themselves, they're more electronically involved. There's a bigger board. I think the receiver's there. It's a little more involved, and it's definitely going to be a challenge. And once it's done and repaired, it's going to be a lot of fun. I used to have one when I was really younger, about 30 or so years ago, and the poor thing had a little car accident. And as young as I was, I didn't have any idea how to fix it. It was just a simple plastic part, and I knew what super glue was, but it was scared to use it. I didn't want to glue myself to the car, so I didn't do it. And it went into a box and eventually went away. And it was only because I was scared to use super glue. I'd either get stuck to it myself or the steering would be permanently stuck in one position and it would never steer again anyway. So it's a simple little plastic ring that would shove one wheel to one side or the other on one side of the car. That was it. Car still worked. It was simply a plastic piece that was broken. So yeah, I don't know. I just never ventured into it, but I was always curious about receiving the transmitter, and I've done it before recently. I think it's on one of the earlier videos. There's no link, but you can go back through the history and find it, and it does pass a few tones, and it's probably a little weak on the signal. I think uh, kind of redid the inside, cleaned it a little bit to make sure it does all the tones that it's supposed to do in order to transmit to the car, tell the car what to do. So, anyways, sorry for the long rambling, and we'll catch you next time. Uh, Thank you for joining us here on the American Radio X-Ray. My name is William, K4ARX.